Welcome back to the My Latin Life podcast. Since 2014, My Latin Life has been your trusted guide to traveling and living in Latin America. My guest today is Pavol Luptak. He's the founder of Liberation Travel. He's based in Asunción, Paraguay. He has many residencies, does a lot of different things with crypto, cybersecurity, etc. I'm really happy to have him on the podcast because I imagine, Pavol, you don't do too many podcasts, do you?
I used to do quite a lot of podcasts, even in Spanish. Thanks a lot for invitation. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, man, it's great to connect with you. Honestly, I remember I've seen Liberation Travel for a long time now. They, for the audience reference, they also do some Paraguay residency services, and I think Wyoming LLC openings too, right?
Yeah. We are
So,
involved.
so you get
Yeah, we are basically helping our customer to opt out of the system. So it's the whole package or like a comprehensive package. So basically, we're helping our customers to get residency mainly in Paraguay or Uruguay or Panama. Then to open the bank account in Georgia, we usually use like a Bank of Georgia. Then set up the company in the U.S., like in Wyoming, for example. Uh,
yep.
Help them with a like a global international insurance. So basically, we are helping our customer to leave the system, to be digital nomads, to have a free life.
And you're from Slovakia, right?
I'm originally from Slovakia. I'm not sure if we are like a competitors because we focus mainly on crypto people. So,
Hmm.
like as a company, we don't have the bank account, so it's possible to pay for our services only in crypto, any kind of crypto you can imagine. But like yeah, so we are like a focus on crypto community mainly in Europe. So our customer are European crypto people.
Okay, cool. And how do you kind of connect with them? We were talking offline about you're big on Monero and you're going to go to the Monero conference. How do you kind of connect with the European crypto community and make them aware of this opportunity of, say, obtaining Paraguay residency and lowering their taxes?
Yeah, we are pretty active in like marketing, especially in like joining or like a partnership of many Bitcoin or crypto conferences. For example, there will be like a upcoming Bitcoin festival, film festival in Warsaw, Poland. So we'll be there as a partner. Then it'll be like in May, and then in the end of April there will be like a Libertarian conference in LibertyCon, like organized by Students of Liberty in Europe, in Prague. It will be also another conference where we'll be like partners. So basically,
Huh.
we are trying to cover all or be partners on these like crypto-friendly Bitcoin conferences, and we are like pretty known in this Central European crypto community.
Nice. Okay. And the one you mentioned was Liberty in Your Lifetime?
No, it's another conference. Also, I didn't this
That
conference
also
here.
says Liberty, also in
It's
Prague.
LibertyCon Europe. LibertyCon
Okay.
Europe.
Okay. Okay.
LibertyCon Europe. It'll be organized in Prague. I think the website is libertycon.net.
Okay, cool, cool. Well, I hope the audience can tell that this is going to be an interesting conversation. I know my audio is probably a little bit echoey. I'm not in my normal spot. Pavel's audio isn't like the 100% amazing either, but I think both of us have good enough audio to make it a good episode, and there should be some good information in here to have people stick around. Okay, so you're sponsoring conferences. That's smart. I haven't done that yet. Maybe I should start sponsoring conferences myself. And maybe you could actually kind of kick us off with your own story about how you got into all this. Your website, the opportunist.global, is pretty legendary, where you've literally just put everything on the table in terms of your sovereignty stack and your tech stack. And I'll read out your website a little bit. It literally says this on the website. It says citizenship Slovak, permanent residencies Panama, Paraguay, Uruguay, e-residencies, Estonia and Palau, tax residency, Paraguay, companies, Wyoming and Slovakia, Paraguay non-CRS bank accounts, Banco Familiar, Itaú, Continental, UENO, Ueno, Georgian bank accounts, Bank of Georgia, and it just kind of keeps going. And you talk about your whole tech stack and sovereignty stack there. Driver's license, Panama, Paraguay, Slovakia. etc. What drove you or inspired you to kind of put everything out there so transparently? Because it's almost like a paradox where crypto is very like privacy focused, but you're kind of being very transparent as well.
Okay, this is like a really, really good question. So before I answer you about like how everything started, maybe I would like answer to your question. But like at the same time, I love privacy. I'm like a modern fan, and at the same time, I'm basically publishing all my information, about my residency, bank accounts, and everything. The thing is
Hmm.
that this is like the first thing is this is the best marketing, and the second thing is that all basically this information is public, and basically I don't like security by obscurity, and also it means it basically means that what I'm just doing is 100% legal, and because it's legal, it doesn't matter if I am public, if this information is public or not. So
Hmm.
basically, I'm 100% sure that everything I do and everything mentioned on my website is 100% legal, and that's the reason why I can afford just to be transparent. And at the same time, it's the best marketing. But for example, me personally, I distinguish between my public life. Public
Hmm.
life is basically everything I post on social network, on the website. I'm willing to shout on the street, and then a private life. In case of private life, I'm like super paranoid. So, for example, I use Signal or I use Session or uh,
Hmm.
some end-to-end encrypted communication. I use Monero. I use Bitcoin Lightning. So regarding my private transaction, my private life, I really keep my privacy. But then I have like a business life, or I have like a business life that has to be, or that should be transparent, just because I think it's the best marketing. And
Right, because
then
then people look at your setup and they're like, I want to implement that.
exactly, yeah, people can make just like a checkpoints, like I want to achieve these. Yeah, and it's updated like every few months. I just delete, add, modify some information on my global opportunist website. Anyway, and now about how I started. So my official background, I'm a computer hacker, but I'm like a good one, like an ethical computer hacker. So my
Yep,
first
ethical
company,
hacking.
yeah, my first company, I created 17, 18 years ago. And basically, what I did for almost 20 or more than 20 years was ethical hacking, hacking computer system, application, basically anything. And maybe 10 years ago, I started to do a lot of like a tax optimization for my companies. And then I was invited to Panama for the first time, maybe 8 years ago, for the conference. What was organized by the people who want to. It was like a shortly after Panama Papers, and Panama Papers, as you know, was like a really big reputation issue for the whole Panama. And basically, like a Panamanian corporation and investors, they want to organize the conference to attract like a new investor, new people to Panama, and just show them that Panama is still attractive country to do business. So I
Hmm.
was invited to this conference. Basically, it was like a 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago. And I had a presentation about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And at that time, it was like a pretty new in Panama.
Right.
So a lot of people who saw my presentation, they started Bitcoin community in Panama then. And then I realized that a lot of people around me, they have Panamanian residency. So I was just thinking yeah, like Panama seems to be like a real good country for a tax residency. So I really enjoyed this idea, and I decided to offer like a Panamanian residency to our customers or to my customers. Firstly, these customers were my friends, then like friends of my friends, and then and then the legislation in Panama. was changed. So basically, it became much more complicated to get like a residency in Panama. For example, now you have to buy the property for at least $500,000, or you have to be employed in a Panamanian company for 2 years. So the
Mhm.
condition were requirements were changed. So I was looking for alternative, and I found Paraguay, and I also found Uruguay. Both these countries, they have territorial taxation. In Paraguay, it's one of the few countries with territorial taxation where it's possible to be tax resident in this country without living there a majority of your time. Like,
Mhm.
and that was basically absolute the best option for digital nomads. So I was so excited by Paraguay that we I started to offer this like a Paraguay option. Until now, we offer now it's almost 600, 700 people we helped to get the residency in Paraguay. So
Really?
yeah, so
In Paraguay alone, you've done
just
600
yeah,
residencies?
yeah, just in Paraguay, just in Paraguay, and then a lot of
Oh,
residencies also in Uruguay and some residencies in Panama. So Paraguay became like a super popular. For example, I can tell you something. Like uh, these, like on Wednesday this week, we did like a significant upgrade because we didn't have enough cars to pick up our customer at the hotels in Asuncion. So we upgraded to the bus. So now we basically now we basically use bus to pick up
no
our
way.
to pick up
A
our
residency
customer.
bus.
We have like residency bus exactly. Now we have like a residency pass, and this week we use like a residency pass to pick up all our customer at the multiple hotels in Asuncion, and we basically take them to the immigration office and help them to get residency. Yeah, so it's yeah, so now it's like a massive things basically,
How
massive.
do you, that's so many, man. And this is like, I imagine like a Slovak speaking audience. And then do you do like Russian speaking or like, I don't know, like Polish or like Eastern European languages or what?
Yeah, yeah. I speak like a Czech, Slovak, Spanish, and English. So like for languages, and we also and mainly most of our customer are like from Central Europe. So basically like Poland, main Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Poland, also Ukraine. Probably also we have some Russian customer. We have also some customer from
Mhm.
Germany, Austria, Switzerland, the UK. Depends, but mainly like an 80%, 90% of our customer are from Central Europe.
Okay, cool. And is your marketing to these people in English or is it in Czech Slovak?
Both. I do
Okay.
like both. In Czech Republic, Slovakia, I do marketing like a Czech or Slovak language. I just use like uh, English marketing. Now I also publish some videos in Spanish, like for some Spanish podcasts. So now I'm also doing
Mm.
like marketing in Spanish, by the way. So
So how long have you been in Asuncion now? Or how long have you been a resident of Paraguay?
maybe 5, 6 years now. Yeah.
And have you applied for citizenship?
Not yet, not yet, and it's probably not so great idea because Paraguay officially does not recognize dual citizenship
Right.
unless you have citizenship of Spain or Italy. So if
Right.
you're like a Spanish citizen or Italian citizen, you're gonna ask for a Paraguayan like a citizenship, but otherwise, you have to declare that you are basically renouncing your original citizenship. And Paraguayan citizenship is not so good deal. So if you have like a U.S. Canadian, I don't know, like a EU passport, then getting like a Paraguayan citizenship is not so good deal.
Right, because it's kind of a downgrade. But you probably know, we both know that like they don't actually need you to renounce. It's more like a
Yeah,
formality or a
yeah.
ceremonial thing. But what, you just don't want to risk it?
Yeah, I know it. It's pretty hard to get like a citizenship in Paraguay. Maybe just
Mhm.
for your illustration, there are like a 2,000 people or maybe 2,000 people who get residency every month in Paraguay. So basically, imagine like a 25,000, maybe 30,000 people get residency in Paraguay
Per year.
every year, like a 25,
Uh-huh.
30,000 people every year. And just a few, like dozens of people get citizenship of Paraguay. So it's like a pretty tough because you have to have like a permanent residence in Paraguay. You have to live in Paraguay like
Uh-huh.
for few years. You have to be like a domicilized in Paraguay. You have to speak either Spanish or Guarani. Guarani is the official language of Paraguay, or you have to speak both languages, like Guarani and Spanish.
Uh-huh.
And you also need to pass uh, like
A civics
history,
test, a
like
history test. Yeah.
history exam in Guarani or in Spanish language. Basically, this is not a problem
Yeah.
at all, but it's like a pretty bureaucratic. It takes a lot of time, and only few people uh, are accepted for like a citizenship in Paraguay. So basically, it's much more easy to get citizenship in Argentina or Brazil. So, for
Right.
example, I can recommend you like a citizenship in these two countries instead of Paraguay. But Paraguay is
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely,
yeah. We say a similar thing. Like, hey, if you want residency, if you want tax residency, you don't care about
yeah,
second passports, Paraguay. But if you're like really optimizing for citizenship, do Argentina or maybe Brazil. And there's no reason you can't do both, right?
yeah, exactly. My personal recommendation is Argentina. The thing is that I visited Brazil like many times, and it's basically becoming like a totalitarian dystopian country.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not sure. Like there is like a censorship, for example. I'm not sure. I I'm super angry of they require like a CPF. CPF, this like a Brazilian
Yeah,
tax
yeah.
number. They require basically everywhere. We wanted to buy like tickets for Carnival or tickets to the botanical garden, and they just wanted it. It's crazy. So it's like a dystopian country. I don't want to support this dystopian country. So I still consider Paraguay, Uruguay, and Argentina to be free countries where we are talking about like a personal and economic freedom. But I don't consider Brazil to be free country anymore.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what we're seeing. And how did you get Uruguay permanent residency? Did you have to invest or did you just like show passive income?
Yeah, great, great question. Maybe I should tell you that recently, like requirements to get permanent residency, they have been changed in Uruguay. So, like in the past, it was possible to get only temporary residency, and then you have to stay majority of your time during your temporary residency. And when you
Hmm.
stay like a majority of time in Uruguay during temporary residency, then you can apply for permanent residency.
Hmm.
Now they change it, and now it's possible to ask to get permanent residency immediately without getting like a temporary residency. And that was the reason why I decided to get permanent residency in Uruguay immediately. And basically, there are like multiple options. Uh, the option I use in my situation, I just use like a um, I think it's called like a visa dentista. It's something similar like in Argentina. So basically, you have to show that you have some income, you have or you're an employee in an existing company, or you have some company and this company pays you. So basically, when
Uh-huh.
you are able to prove, I think this now it's $1,300 per month. So if you're able
Yep.
to prove you have this income, um, you can ask for residency. There are some other requirements. For example, you to make like you need to have a valid vaccination certificate against tetanus. So
Hmm.
that's one of the requirements. You have to come physically to Uruguay. You need to do like a very basic health checkup, and after this health checkup, which takes like a few hours, uh, in a, you can apply for permanent residency in Uruguay. Of course you need like the standard things like background check, like a list of criminal record registers. You need like a birth certificate, this anti-tetanus like a vaccination, uh,
Hmm.
this information about
Yeah.
your company, but
Okay.
that's
So
all.
so they actually, I guess it's kind of bucking the trend, Uruguay, where you're saying that now you can go straight to PR Whereas actually Paraguay kind of went the other direction and said, no, 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 you have to start on temp now, except for the investment visa, but that's a separate thing. So Uruguay is actually kind of uh, contrary to the trend where they're saying, actually now you can go straight to PR. That's pretty unique in Latin America and in the world of residencies,
Yeah. So basically, Uruguay is against global trend because global trend is just making more complicated to get
making it
residency.
harder. Yep.
Yeah, like
Yep.
yeah, also like a Caribbean citizenship, for example, they double prices, for investment.
Yep.
It's much more easy, almost in all countries, to get like a residency or citizenship. It's just more expensive, more harder, more bureaucratical. So yes, but I would like to add something you should know about Uruguay. There are some just two issues about Uruguay. So Uruguay distinguishes between tax residency and permanent residency. Just the fact that you
Mm-hmm.
get permanent residency in Uruguay, it doesn't mean automatically that you get like a tax residency. For example, in Paraguay, when you get like a temporary residency or permanent residency, we can immediately register at the SET, like a tax office of Paraguay,
Yep.
and basically you can be like a tax resident of Paraguay very easily, and it works perfectly. In
Mm-hmm.
Uruguay, it's more complicated. It's quite easy to get like a permanent residency, but if you want to get like a tax residency in Uruguay, you have to live
Mm-hmm.
there majority of the time. So you have to live there at least 6 months a year, or you have to make an investment. You have to buy the property. I think the property is now pretty expensive. You have to. So if you don't want to stay in Uruguay majority of your time, but still be a tax resident of Uruguay, you have to do like a significant investment, like a $1.5 million in Uruguay, or you have to buy the property in Uruguay, and I think it now
Uh-huh.
goes about 400 or $500,000. So it's pretty expensive. So what I want to tell you is that like getting tax residency in Uruguay in Paraguay is much more easy than in Uruguay. In Uruguay, you have to really live there or be like a wealthy person to be able to get like a
Mm-hmm.
tax residency in Uruguay. That's the first issue of Uruguay. So for digital nomads who basically need to have tax residency somewhere, Paraguay is still, despite the fact that you need to ask firstly for like a temporary residency and then for permanent residency, Paraguay is still a better option because it's much more easier to get like a tax residency than Uruguay. So for digital
Mm-hmm.
nomads, I still recommend like a Paraguay. And there's
Mm-hmm.
a second thing you should know, and it's that for people who are just looking for a backup plan, like a plan B, uh, especially for families, Paraguay is still a better option than Uruguay. And the reason is that it's quite easy to get residency, temporary residency, and then permanent residency for children in Paraguay. And your children, they don't need to visit like a Paraguayan schools, or at least it's not enforced.
Mm-hmm.
But in Uruguay, if you want to have like a backup, if you want to backup plan B, and you want to get residency for children in Uruguay, they have to go to Uruguayan schools. They have to be like a part of Uruguayan education system, or
Mm-hmm.
they have to be homeschooled in Uruguay. So if you're looking for a backup plan for the whole family with children, and children are
Mm-hmm.
not willing immediately start to go to the school, then Paraguay is still a better option than Uruguay.
Okay.
But
I didn't know that.
yeah, so for digital nomads and for families as a plan B, Paraguay is still better than Uruguay. If you want to move to Uruguay, then great, and live there because it's quite easy to get like a tax residency, and also you can get it for your children. So these are like the differences. So it's
Okay.
advantages,
Cool.
disadvantages.
Yeah, no, that's a good breakdown. And the Uruguayan permanent residency, is it really permanent or are there physical presence requirements to maintain it? Do you have to visit once a year, once every 3 years, or something like that?
Okay, good question. So now they don't require your physical presence, which is like a super cool. And I'm going to describe it how it works. So basically, you get like a temporary residency, uh, but your cedula is valid only for 3 years. So basically, after 3 years, you have like normal permanent residence in Uruguay. After each, like every 3 years, you have to come to Uruguay just for one day and ask for the new document. Like just show them like a like some basic information, and it's a question of like a few hours basically. And they
To renew the cedula.
yeah, few hours, and
Okay.
they will renew your cedula for another 3 years. So basically, and you can do that until the end of your life. So basically, there are no limits. But after 3 years, you should come to Uruguay and just ask for new cedula for another 3 years.
This episode of the My Latin Life podcast is brought to you in part by Crema Social. Crema Social is like TikTok for international dating. It's an app you can download right now on your phone, and 3 out of 4 people on Crema are single women. The app was founded in Colombia, so unsurprisingly, there are a lot of Latinas on the app, by the way. So, how does it work? Crema Social is a social meal experience where you invite a hot girl for a lunch date via video call and food delivery. New concept, so you'll have to try it out for yourself, but this is probably the best way to meet Latinas before you visit the country. So if you're in Latin America or planning to visit Latin America, download Crema Social now and start getting dates right away. There will be a link in the description to download, or just search Crema Social on your favorite app store. Have fun, guys. This episode of the My Latin Life podcast is brought to you in part by Bit Refill. Bit Refill is the best way to spend your crypto in Latin America. Purchase gift cards or mobile refills from more than 3,500 brands in 186 countries instantly, safely, and privately. You can also apply the code MyLatinLife at checkout to get 10% back on your first purchase. Go to bitrefill.com for more information. This episode of the My Latin Life podcast is brought to you in part by Job Stacking. If you are a remote or hybrid worker looking to maximize your earning potential, then Rolf Holze, the author of Job Stacking, guarantees you'll be able to double your income. This is the exact system Rolf has used to take his own income and those of many others beyond 20K a month. So what is job stacking? It's this idea of working multiple remote jobs. You might have heard Rolf, he's worked 5, 7, even 9 remote jobs at the same time before. And by the way, job stacking works equally well for non-technical roles. So no, it's not just for the nerds. So if you're ready to job stack, then book a discovery call with job stacking and see how they can double your income in just 9 weeks. In the show notes in the description, there will be a link where you can book a call directly on the Calendly of job stacking and be talking with them as early as tomorrow about how to double your income as quickly as possible.
Something what you should know is that now when you get for permanent residency in Uruguay, you don't get automatically like a official cedula. You get something what is called provisionary cedula. It's
Mm.
like a provisionary permanent residency cedula, and you basically have this cedula until you get like an official cedula, and you get official cedula probably in a 18 months, like a 1.5 year
Mhm.
after they record your birth certificate to the Uruguayan Public Registry of Citizens. That's how it
Mhm.
works. Yeah, so you basically come. Yeah, so the whole immigration process is like a pretty simple. You have to come to Uruguay for 1 week. I recommend like 1 week. So like the first day you will go to do like a whole checkup, which is
Mhm.
necessary. You also need to have these like anti-tetanus vaccination. Then the second or third day, you can go to the immigration office with all necessary documentation. You can prepare this documentation for you, and they ask for like a permanent residency. And then in 1 week, just in 1 week, you can pick up your provisionary cedula, and you can have this provisionary cedula until you get official cedula. So basically, in 18 months, you should visit
Hmm.
Uruguay again. Uh, when your like uh, birth certificate is stored in the public register of citizens, you can pick up
Hmm.
like official cedula, and then you should come back in another 18 months, which will be automatically like 3 years, and you will ask for the new cedula, and then just continue every 3 years. And so basically, you don't need to leave there. That's super cool.
Okay, definitely makes sense. That's a good breakdown. And I know we're recording audio only, but I can see you and you can see me, and it definitely looks like you're in like a Paraguayan farmhouse or something like that. It's got like the classic brick.
Yeah,
You're in like rural Paraguay. I feel like just by the background. Or can you tell me? Can you tell us? Maybe it's an undisclosed location, but where are you calling in from?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm in Luque. Luque is like
Okay.
it's like an extended part of Asuncion, or maybe you can call it like a village. But you're right.
Mhm.
This is like a typical of like a Paraguayan house. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
It's funny. Okay, so you're in Luque. So is Luque your soccer team, your football team in Paraguay?
Probably there is like a football team in every city and every village in Paraguay. They're super fans, like every Latinas. So for sure they have like a football club, but I have never attended any like a football match.
Yeah,
So
I think Luque is known for being the team with the biggest super fans or the craziest fans.
yeah, yeah, can be, yeah, can be like yeah. I saw some of these people and it was crazy. Yeah. But it's
Okay,
pretty
cool. So
small
you're in Luque.
town. It's small. It's pretty small town. Basically, it's like a extended, like a part or extended agglomeration of like a Asuncion. So basically, when I call like a Uber or Bolt, it takes like 30 minutes to get to the center of Asuncion. So it's like pretty
Mhm.
close.
Yeah, you're like halfway between Asunción and San Bernardino.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Okay,
Paraguay. It seems you are like a. You know how it looks in
I
Paraguay.
do, man. I'm a resident too, of course.
Cool. How many years?
Over 5 years, I've been a resident.
Cool.
I already applied for citizenship.
And
So,
and have you already been?
well, I wrote the test. So I did the test. I memorized the national anthem.
Mhm.
So that's all submitted. So it's in progress. It's in progress.
I think it's in
Um,
progress. Maybe then you can write me what was the result of this. But as I told you, like it's possible, but it's hard, and they are
yeah,
pretty selective.
I have Italian passport, by the way, so I don't have to deal with the
Oh,
renunciation stuff.
okay. So that's complete. So it's a different situation. Yeah. So in this situation, yeah, special rule maybe apply to you. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Ojalá. Okay, and I know at the beginning we talked about, oh, what's cool about Paraguay is you can have low physical presence but still get the tax residency. Looks like you've decided to actually continue to spend time in Paraguay. So I guess you like it. You like do you drink yerba mate? What's keeping you in Paraguay? I guess you got a pretty big business, but
Yeah, to be sincere, my girlfriend. So, woman.
mm,
Yeah,
Paraguaya.
but I used to visit Prague maybe 4 or 5 times a year, so pretty often. But for example, now we're living to Argentina. We're going to Formosa, north of Argentina, uh,
Hmm.
because in Formosa there's like a small city. I
Hmm.
can't remember the name, but it's a Monero city. So, some teenagers, some like young guys, they basically persuaded all business owners, all companies in this city to accept Monero, like this truly anonymous
Oh, really?
cryptocurrency. And it's pretty unique. It's like the only Monero city in the world. So my goal is to go there to visit these people, to visit this place, maybe make some interview in Spanish with these people. But that's my plan. What I want to do, like a next week, or this week, basically.
That's cool. And so is it in the Formosa city or is it another pueblo in the Formosa province?
Okay, I can tell you exactly. I can tell you exactly. It's in Formosa province, and the place is exactly called. What a moment! I'm going to tell you. Ibarreta. Ibarret.
Ibaret.
Ibarreta. I think it has like maybe 40, 50,000 people, so it's pretty small. Ibarreta, and it's also a
Ibarreta with a
Ibarreta.
double R. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
with a double R. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. I found it.
Ibarreta, double R. It's like it's called like a also monor town. And they organized something what's called Copa Monero. So maybe you should, it's basically like a football like a football tournament
Hmm.
few weeks ago, and it was called like a Copa Monero. So if you are a fan of football and you're a fan of Monero, you should definitely check this event.
Okay,
Uh,
cool,
and
cool.
the
Copa
name,
Monero.
yeah, yeah. So I think it's something like a pretty new. Like most people have no idea that something like that exists, and I really enjoy like exploring these communities. Um, for example, like many years ago, I visited El El Cheran in Michoacan. If you know El Cheran in Michoacan, you know that this place
In Mexico?
in Mexico, yeah,
I mean, I've been to Michoacan. I've never been to
El Cheran.
El Cheran.
Okay, so this is like a something very interesting you should know because El Cheran is the place of the Mexican indigenous people of the tribe Purepecha. Not sure if you know
Uh-huh.
the Purepecha. It's like
It's an indigenous group, yeah.
it's an indigenous group, but why this city is very important? It's also like a 50,000 people or something like that. But what is interesting?
Cheran.
Yeah, for the what
There's
moment?
no L, I think. I think it's just called Cheran.
Cheran. So this is like El Cheran, and maybe I am just sending you the video. You can open it later. But in Cheran is the place where, in Michoacan, historically they had and they still have problem with narcos. So Michoacan is considered to be one of the most dangerous Mexican state, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
And in this Cheran, 11 years or 12 years ago, they did like a really interesting social experiment. What they did, they fired uh, all politicians because most politicians were connected to narcos, to mafia.
Hmm.
They fired like a state police. They introduced their own like a private army, basically, or
Uh-huh.
private guards,
Right.
and so basically they banned like a political uh, advertisement, for example, on political propaganda, and they switched to some kind of to some kind of direct democracy system because in Mexico, if you're like an indigenous person or indigenous tribe, you have a right to create your own political system or your community. It's like
Mm.
indigenous people in the U.S. You know, they have some kind of
Hmm.
independence. So according to
Okay.
the Mexican Constitution, they were allowed basically to change their political system in their city. So they switched to some kind of their like a tribalistic direct democracy. And
Uh-huh.
after they did it, number of crimes were decreased. I think like maybe 95% or almost. Basically, it became the safest place in Michoacan after this change. So imagine, and I was so excited about this change that I decided like many few years ago I decided to visit this place El Cheran in Michoacan in Mexico, and I did an
Hmm.
interview with the founders of uh, of this new system or new political system, and I just
Hmm.
basically asked them in Spanish if they can explain me how it's possible that they were able to basically completely decrease the number of crimes and make the place super safe again.
Okay.
And also
Are they doing anything with Monero or crypto
no,
or
not at
no?
all,
No,
not
no,
at
no.
all,
Okay,
not
okay.
at all.
I've heard of this story though because I actually have like a star in my Google Maps on Chiran. I'm guessing it's a Pueblo, Mexico too. Um,
It's like a state-free.
I've heard this story though.
Yeah, it's a state-free city with almost no crime. Because it when it was like controlled by the state, they had
Right.
a lot of crimes, and when they removed like a politician, they removed like a state police, and they became like a super safe zone like that. So basically, it's like a oasis, like a peaceful oasis inside of Michoacan. Um, Very interesting, and there are many such communities. So I also visited like a Mennonites, for example, in north of Paraguay.
Hmm.
There is similar community in Panama, and so I really love these uh, alternative communities.
So tell me this, because you're a crypto anarchist. Do you think you make more money or accept more money per year in crypto or in fiat? Because obviously you have Wyoming LLC and some fiat stuff too. Where do you? I guess maybe that's private, but like, are you more fiat or more crypto?
Like a 99% income is in crypto only.
Really?
99%,
Okay.
yeah, 99%, yeah, 99%. But so, for example, Liberation Travel is 100% crypto company. So basically,
Really?
all our people, basically, what I did,
So to get Paraguay residency with you, you have to pay crypto.
yeah, sure, yeah. But we accept like all kind of crypto, including Monero, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Lightning, stablecoins, but whatever you want.
Sure, sure.
And basically, what I did when I started this business, I bought like a Bitcoin Trezor. You know the Bitcoin Trezor, the hardware wallet. Hardware wallet is like a Bitcoin Trezor, like basically wallet, like a
Sure.
for everybody. So basically, I bought like multiple pieces. I gave them to our lawyers in Paraguay, Uruguay, Panama, also in Georgia, and I told them, guys, I'm going to send you bitcoins. I'm going to send you like a crypto to these wallets, and that's how we are going to work. So, firstly, like these people were not so enthusiastic about this, but now they're super happy, especially when like a Bitcoin doubled. So I think it's definitely a good idea, and because I'm going to tell you sometimes some of our customers wants to pay us in like a fiat. So for example, for this purpose, I use like my personal bank account, and very often bank like it freezes this transaction, asks stupid question and everything. And every time I just explain customer, you see, that's the reason why we don't accept fiat. We don't accept like
Right.
state money because this like a banks. You have like a bad banks and you have like a worse banks. So if you do like an international transaction out of the EU over 10K, for example, they always stop or almost always stop and freeze their transaction and ask you stupid question, everything. And
Hmm.
this was like a so uh, exhausting for me, and so many they caused me so many problems. Like not now, but in the past when I used another company that decided to switch to crypto completely, and it was one of the best things we have ever done. Maybe I should make like a advertisement of another cool project of my friend, which is called Archway.finance. I'm not sure if you know it.
No, never heard.
Okay, so basically, Arch, yeah, I'm going to send you the link. So so basically, this is like a nice service when you create, for example, the US LLC company, or basically you can use like any company, and you can open the account here, like Archer.finance. Uh,
Hmm.
this company basically provides you like a fully functional bank account just for your customers. So so you don't need to any bank account, but all your customer can pay you by bank transfer by fiat to this bank account. They immediately change it to crypto. They add I think 2%, and they send it in crypto to your wallet. So basically, using this service, you can handle all fiat customers who don't have like a crypto, who are just able to make like a wire transfer, like a normal payments. You can use this service, and these thanks to this service, when you verify your company, they can change immediately the fiat transaction to crypto, and you just receive like a pure crypto to your
Mhm.
Bitcoin Trezor or your wallet. So this is like a great service. So basically, so when you have such services like this one, it really doesn't make sense to use bank accounts. Why do you need bank accounts?
Well, I can tell you, I have over $5,000 frozen in Stripe. So,
Yeah.
and I've definitely had, I've had Mercury accounts shut down, and I'm like totally above board, and nothing. So you're right. You're definitely onto it. Like
I think,
permissionless is the way to go.
yeah, I think you have enough negative experiences to switch to crypto completely. And
Hmm.
basically, because either your customers, what you can do, for example, either your customers can pay you directly in crypto. Nobody can freeze it. Nobody can stop this transaction. It's They can use stable coins if you have like a problem with the fluctuation of bitcoins, for example. So you can use USDT, USDC, anything like that.
Uh-huh.
Or if you still have customers who don't have crypto and they want to pay in fiat, you can use this service like an Finance. You can charge them like a 2% more. So they because
Mm.
it's the fee of the service, so they will pay you 2% more. And these 2% will be also incentive for your customers to pay you in crypto, because if they pay you in crypto, they will save 2%. And that's what you should do, I think.
Makes sense. And do you do the services like one off? Like, can someone get just Paraguay residency or just an LLC from you, or do they have to do like a package and like holistic
Yeah, yeah,
and
for sure. We offer just like a part, we just part of this. So you can ask only for temporary residency, and then you can pay for upgrade, or you can ask for the US LLC company, and also you can ask, for example, for maintenance of this company. So it depends. So of course we do also like personal things.
okay, cool. Um, yeah, this is so cool. So, and you're doing liberation travel, which, as I mentioned, has been around for a couple of years now. And I've even had people I talk to, clients and people in my audience and stuff like that. And I say like, oh, like where'd you end up getting your LLC, whatever? And they say, oh, I went to liberation travel. So, I've had there's been some overlap. But I imagine you're big that you make more money with your cybersecurity business, if I had to guess.
Yeah, yeah. Still, it's cybersecurity business, but it's slowly changing, especially now when we use buses to pick up like the
Buses.
customer in Paraguay. So basically,
Yeah.
so the main income is from the like private residencies, and the second like a biggest income is from opening bank accounts in Bank of Georgia, by the way. And this is like really
Mm.
interesting. Like we handle also like hundreds customers who wanted the bank account in Bank of Georgia, like a solo bank account. So
Mhm. And is that individual bank accounts or corporate bank accounts,
it's
or
a
do they do both?
it's like a personal bank account only for like individuals.
Okay, they don't do corporate
Now, yes, for Georgian companies only.
for Georgian companies.
For
Okay.
Georgian companies only, they do. But what you should know, for example, if you have like this USLC disregard company, which works basically as a proxy. If, for example, you are the Italian citizen, you are like a tax resident of Paraguay, and you own
Hmm.
your US LLC disregarded company in Wyoming. Uh, Legally, you can receive your money for your US LLC company to a personal bank account. You know that, and
Right.
you doesn't basically break the US tax code. So it's 100% legal. You just have some like extra reporting like duties, but basically as a US LLC company in this situation, you don't need like a corporate account because you can legally receive your money, for example, to Bank of Georgia or somewhere else. extra. You need some like reporting duties, but it's completely legal. So you can use your personal bank account for receiving money to your US LLC company.
Okay, cool, cool. That's some good intel for people. Yeah, we don't do the Georgian bank account just because we try to stick with like Latin America stuff, but we have like a Panama bank account, Panama crypto account, Costa Rica bank account, Uruguay bank account, um, Cabo Verde bank account, which is interesting. We've even done some Peru bank accounts. So yeah, the bank account stuff's
So I
useful.
can compare because I also have the Panamanian. I have multiple Panamanian bank accounts, and I also have Uruguayan bank account and four bank accounts in like Paraguay. So what I can tell
Hmm.
you is like especially Panamanian opening the Panamanian bank account is one of the most
It's a
bureaucratic
hassle
thing
a
in
little
the
bit.
in yeah, you can
Yeah.
imagine it's like a crazy, you know. Like I'm going to tell you, like opening, if you are willing to come physically to Georgia, you can
Hmm.
open the bank account immediately. Immediately
Yeah.
means that okay, I'm going to tell you like how it looks, how opening bank accounts looks in Tbilisi in Georgia. So basically, you have like a subway, you have like a metro station, and there is like
Hmm.
a special office where you can buy like a public transport tickets,
Hmm.
and you just buy the public transport tickets. You can use like a metro, and beside you have like another small office. You can just come there, and in 5 minutes you can open the bank account and just go. Just with your passport, no documents, just sign KYC, and that's all. And I'm going to tell you
Sounds
something.
nice.
So
Sounds nice.
you don't need to have any connection to Georgia. You don't need to have any connection to Georgia. You don't need to have
Hmm.
residencies or something like that. And one funny story: I have a good friend. I have a good friend from Panama, and she visited Georgia. And she opened the bank account in this like a small office, and she could not
Hmm.
believe, as a Panamanian resident, with all this, as a Panamanian person who lived there so many years, that's
Hmm.
something like that in Georgia it's possible. So you can open basically the best private banking account, which is called Solo. You can have the best Visa signature, Visa Platinum, Mastercard Vault Elite. You can
I've
have
heard
like
that the ones with priority pass and stuff.
yeah, you can have like a uh, basically like for example, I have unlimited like airport lounges, for example,
Yep.
and I have like a private banking. I have no limits when I want to withdraw money from anywhere from the ATM, which is super cool. And basically I opened this bank account just using my passport, like nothing else.
Yeah, that's
So
nice.
you know personally how super complicated it is open the bank account anyway anywhere in Latin America.
Hmm.
So yeah, but I just remember there is one thing I really like in Mexico. Maybe you know it.
Okay. Okay.
So in Mexico you have a lot of ATM machines, and many of these ATM machines they allow you to do deposits.
Uh
So
huh.
basically you can just put like a cash, like a Mexican pesos, just write the destination bank recipient bank account number, and your Mexican pesos immediately sent. And this can
Hmm.
be done from any Mexican ATM machine with no KYC, no personal information, anything. So basically, in Mexico, you can send money to any bank account in a completely anonymous way. Just like put your Mexican pesos to any ATM machine with a deposit functionality, and just
Sure.
yeah.
And so you could send it, say, to Georgia or something.
No, you can send it only to like a Mexican bank account.
To
Yeah,
Mexico. Okay.
Mexican. So basically in Mexico you can basically deposit money to any Mexican bank account and
To
completely
any.
anonymous
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
using this.
For sure.
Basically,
I
this
think
is
I did do that to pay my maid, but yeah, I mean, you're thinking it from a more like
man,
KYC type.
this is like a prohibited on in all countries. I just in Mexico it works. So in Mexico you can visit like any ATM machine, put like a cash there, and send anywhere you to any Mexican bank, and it works. No KYC, nothing, no identity checks. So it's possible, yeah. Um,
Very cool.
but
Yeah, we got to get to wrapping up, Pavel. I actually have a hard stop. But I'm so happy that we got to connecting. We got to kind of touch on a couple high value topics here for the audience. So hopefully the audience got some good information about Paraguay, Uruguay, Georgian bank accounts, and the Monero town in Formosa. Obviously, we'll put a link in the description to Liberation Travel as well as your Twitter. I mean, I've been following your Twitter for over a year now. Uh, what other message would you want to share with the audience?
Maybe I should mention that I every month I write like a liberation travel hacks newsletter, like a month letter.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I'm going to send a link, but I strongly recommend you to follow this like a month letter because there are a lot of useful information, a lot of technical like gadgets or like tools, eSIMs, a lot of very interesting information. I've write this newsletter in like Slavic language and also in English, so you can subscribe to English version
Okay,
and
I'm signing up.
and now
I'm
we have
signing
like
up
a
now.
many thousand like subscribers and people really enjoyed it because there are really useful advices, tips, everything uh, for each country. So, for example, in last newsletter, I promoted your company, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah. In this newsletter, I promoted your company. Basically, your service, Mexican residencies by regularization.
Oh, thanks, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. I can send you like a link. Yeah,
I just signed up, so I'm on the list. I'll put the link in the description, and good to go. Dude, thank you so much for doing this and finally connecting. And hopefully this is the first combo of many.
yeah. Thanks a lot for the invitation. And see you in Mexico. I hope. I'll be there in November. But this year.
Sure, yeah, in Mexico and Paraguay, maybe even in Europe, quien sabe.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. By the way, when we say bye, hold on for like 5 seconds as the audio uploads, and I'll get to the outro here. So this has been another episode of the My Latin Life podcast. Again, our guest today, Pavol from Liberation Travel. All the links are in the description. Guys, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, X, wherever you're listening to this. We put out 2 episodes a week with amazing guests like Pavol, and you won't want to miss an episode. You can also check out mylatinlife.com and our Twitter for more information. Ciao for now.